today I wanted to talk about the Comb B method for the treatment of body-focused repetitive behaviors. You may or may not be familiar with the term body-focused repetitive behavior, so I'm going to break that down a little bit more. Body-focused repetitive behaviors really refers to any sort of behavior we're doing towards our body that's repetitive in nature. So this might be things like hair pulling or skin picking, cheek biting, nail biting, tongue biting, any sort of behavior that we are doing on a consistent basis that is towards our body that we are not appreciating, that we don't want to be doing, that is causing distress. And so Comb B is a type of therapy that is frequently used to treat these diagnoses. And the big part of Comb B approach is starting to recognize like what's underneath this, what's underneath the behavior. So we're really looking at the needs, what prompts you to engage in this behavior. So there's kind of an acronym that we use. It's called SCAMP to look at the different areas. So we have sensory, cognitive, affective, motor, and place sort of triggers. And then we will get into detail of each of those if you choose to do a treatment with me. But as we look at those needs, it might be things like sensory-wise, I really feel comforted by the feel of my hair. Maybe I'm looking for a certain texture of it. Or maybe I get really sensory, it drives me crazy to have a hangnail. Or when my cheek has that little piece of like cheek skin that like hangs out, that really is something that triggers me to start biting it, right? And then we have those cognitions, which are the thoughts tied in with this. So this might be something like, because I started picking or because I started pulling, I have to keep going. Or it can be the shame piece that often follows. And that shame often leads into more picking or pulling, as you've likely experienced. So this might be, oh my gosh, I've started pulling and I feel so embarrassed. Now I have a bald spot. And then my brain's immediately like, okay, but I already have a bald spot and I'm going to have to wear a hat for a while. So I might as well keep going, right? And from there, we also have the affective. And affective really is that emotional piece. So how are my emotions tying in? So for some people, boredom can be a trigger, or it might be stress that's this trigger, anxiety. For some people, it's just like this self-soothing piece, right? All sorts of different emotions that tie in. And then we also have the motor piece, which is more of that habitual piece of this all. Oftentimes, people kind of describe like a trance-like state when they're picking, pulling, those sort of behaviors of like, it feels like I'm just kind of in this different place. I'm kind of not even aware of it because my brain's taken me to this other place. It can also be like those habit forming things. So this might be every time I sit down at my desk, I have my arm resting on my chair and then my hands in my hair and it just automatically happens. Or for a lot of people, driving can be a trigger, maybe watching TV. Those are different pieces we're going to look at with the motor piece. And then the final place is that final piece is the place of this, right? So this might be when I'm in my car, I'm consistently picking or pulling. When I'm in bed, when I'm looking in the mirror, those sort of places can all contribute to this. And again, all of these things are about underlying needs. And in Comb B therapy, number one, we're going to work on developing self-compassion, understanding your needs. And then from there, we're going to look at other ways to address those needs. How can we meet those needs in a way that doesn't cause as much harm? We're looking at that harm reduction piece. And so all of that we can do together. And I would love to walk you through this. If you are interested in learning more about either group or individual and or both forms of therapy with me for body-focused repetitive behaviors, then please reach out through the link on my website or else to my contact information listed under the contact info tab on my website. I hope to hear from you soon and I will talk to you then. Thank you so much. Bye.